All right, let's just get started. Hello, everyone. And I don't
Hola.
even know what pictures I have. Okay, they're right. I might have to change them to the other ones, but we can do that some
It's
other
all
time.
right.
Welcome back to our behind the rolls for episode 17, which we had yesterday, which was, oh boy, it was a fun session. I had a good time. We saw some combat, and yeah, we'll get into it. With me
Mhm.
is the lovely DM Light. Light, how are you? Other than getting
I'm
sick.
I'm good. Yeah. I'm feeling it, but other than that, I'm okay. I'm good.
Yeah, you're gonna shake it. You're gonna shake
Yeah, I'm pumping myself OD on vitamins. Don't do that.
it's okay. You can't OD in vitamins.
Well, you can get sick from, like having too much sun. So,
I mean, that's true, but that's
but I don't have sun, so I'm not going outside anyway, so it's fine.
yeah. So, Miss Light, the last we left off. So the previous episodes, I feel like a lot of important stuff happened, but they're very easy to recap because
Mhm.
it's just things that kind of took a while, but there wasn't a lot that happened. Um, and it was the conversations with the pirate lords, along with the captain of the Wind Dancer and the Voodoo Queen and us, and we were all there because we were going to war, pretty
Mhm.
much. And everyone kind of spoke their cases as far as like concerns and plans or whatever until eventually we were all like, okay, I guess we're doing this. So that was up to like episode 16, and we were given a couple of days to prepare. And that's where episode 17 starts off, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm. Yeah. It's basically like the last minute, you know, being prepared, trying to do things. Um, and it was pretty straightforward. I mean, there's only so much you could do on a ship to prepare.
Hmm.
So some people prayed. I mean, that's what you do, right?
Apparently now it's a thing. But I find it so funny that everyone, ever since the beginning, we were like, oh, ask the ship and the ship provides, right? And it was like,
Mhm.
so when Minerva was like, there, we don't have a temple, and I'm like, have you asked? and, and I guess like people just keep forgetting that. Like I'm pretty sure if there was a place of worship, you could just ask the ship, and she did, and there was.
Mhm.
Um, so we went there, and basically Vorin, my character, just wanted to see if we can get any information on this demigod. And who better to ask than the gods? But Vorin feels like he has no connection to the gods at all. Even though I feel like he's actively being teased by them. Like,
I don't know about
huh,
teas. They're just there.
they're just there.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah. They're just like making it very obvious that they're there and that they have an influence in his life. So he's like, okay, he's
He's
starting to come
scared.
around to
He's
the idea of the gods. Um, and the she prayed to her goddess, but it was not office hours for the god for the goddess. So she actually decided she was going to wait to see if she would hear anything back later that evening. Um, and Vorn took the opportunity to, I guess, I don't know, to get off his chest. He saw the same symbol, which was the door and the keys, um, that he was told of by the Voodoo Queen. And obviously, he just had to ask. So then he got another vision. Um, I'm not sure if it was like really a vision, but just something that he was seeing there, and just confused him further. But now, because the captain came in and talked to him and stuff, so he knows who that is, and he knows what it is, and he knows the goddess Valentina now. Um,
Mhm.
so he doesn't know what the hell she wants with him or why, but she knows of her at least. And I think that from my point of view, um, Vaughn, like I've said a million times, he likes information. So I think now he's gonna go on this journey of, I think, finding out anything he can find out about this goddess and maybe other goddesses as well, because now he's curious.
Mhm.
But we'll see how that uh, comes into play later on. But he had a good talk with the captain there, um, which was kind of nice. You know, in case she dies and stuff, he wanted to clear the air, so to speak, and they did. Um, he apologized for if he came across as disrespectful or doubtful, but he wanted to make sure that the questions that needed to be asked were asked, and I think she understood that. How do you think that conversation went?
I think it went well, especially for Voron, because what happened like 3 or 4 sessions ago, he came out, you know, aggressive asking the questions, but I think it's more of, and I could be wrong, um, fear.
Oh yeah,
And, fear is a big thing because it's like, you know, each character, they come from somewhere and they do stuff. Warren, he works at the docks in Feilu, and one of the dreams he had was to go on the ship, and everybody else, like I said, they have their own thing. And finally he's on the ship, and but there's more to it. And even though um, you know, everything, all well, the goal was to get whatever the captain wanted or needed. And then even with her, she doesn't even know what it is. Why? She was just told. And even though, the questions were asked, there's some people who don't even know the answer to. And I think on both parties, basically, they are trying to ask the questions, trying to get answers, but also there's always that rock in between everything. It's like almost being in a labyrinth. And, it's like the answer's right there for her, but can't get to it just yet.
yeah, and I think that applies for a couple of us when it comes to like, um, just because we're asking questions doesn't mean that the people we're asking know, even though it feels like something they should know. But some of them, like the captain, um, are kind of in the same position as we are, that are just like being dragged along by fate. And I guess we'll get further into that later on. But um, it was kind of interesting to see how that ended up at the end of the episode. But
Mhm.
it was kind of a cool foundation. That conversation was a cool foundation for how things ended. Um, so prep was quick, like you said. I mean, the ship is always prepped. That's kind of a thing about a ship, right? Like you always have to be
Mhm.
prepped. Um, even though, Sin is in the thing, by the way.
Mhm. He messaged me.
um,
Hello.
hey Sin,
Hello. Sorry, I got carried away with stuff. Totally.
you're good.
Mhm,
Lost track of time.
mhm,
Just sat back down and I was like, oh shit, here it is. How you
You're
guys doing?
you're gonna have a
Good.
debuff in the next session.
Why?
I'm kidding. I'm
Oh my gosh, did you hear it?
Is
His
it the
voice?
monkey? Is it the monkey?
Was it the monkey?
Monkey being back? Is that why?
Oh,
Hold on,
but
let
that's
me
a little bit
switch the
later in the conversation.
pictures. Yeah, I know. So yeah, take it away, Light, while I adjust the pictures here.
Yeah, so basically we just talked about just the beginning, like from them asking, or when they were asking if there's a temple, in the ship, and the ship showed yeah, there's a little area, and to the conversation between Warren and the captain. Um so yeah, that's pretty much where we're at right now with this.
Yeah, so my
Nice.
observation was how interesting that conversation with Voren that the captain had was, and how the episode ultimately ended. It was,
I know, right?
it,
Didn't she say something about, like, "They never answer me"?
yeah. She says,
Uh-huh.
or she said, yeah, some of them don't answer, and it sounded very personal. So it was just kind of, it was very interesting to see that at the end, like we haven't gotten there yet, but
Mhm.
the fact that she mentioned that in the very beginning is just like,
Yeah, it makes you wonder now after what we know if she has some rivalry with somebody, or
yeah.
a few of them.
Or if she was just like disappointed or whatever, maybe that has to do with her disdain, or her not disdain, but like the fact that she almost sounded like she didn't want it, you know?
Yeah, she even
Mhm.
said that she didn't.
Hmm.
Like, didn't she? Oh, hold on, I think I went way too forward. Sorry.
Oh, go on. It's okay.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, the recap's the
I think she
recap,
did
right?
I think she did say something like, "I didn't want this," or something. I'm pretty sure near the end, right? Like, I never wanted this," or something like that.
Yeah. I I think it just caught her completely out of left field. But
Oh,
anyway, so
absolutely.
we prepped for the battle, which was quick, and um did we had like a quick dinner, right?
mhm.
There
It
wasn't
was
really
quick
anything.
dinner. No, it's like it's almost like if you think about it, it's almost like a last meal.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
and it would I left it to the floor to you guys, and I know there's times where it's quiet, because you don't know what to say, and then it could just be uh people are just playing their characters.
Yeah.
And as that dispersed, everybody could have done something else. And I think at that time, Victor, before going to bed, he did pray to his goddess.
Mhm.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
want to tell us a little bit about
Oh,
that?
well, before that, he asked, he tried to pray to somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Uh-huh.
yeah. Yeah. Let's get into that.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll bring it back to we'll start from why it was so quiet at dinner, and then I'll go forward into that. So from Victor, why it was so quiet at dinner is he felt like he's been beating the dead horse of preparation and all this, and he just felt like there was absolutely nothing else to say. He was just like, "Well, we're in it now,
Yeah.
so
I
here we
think I
go."
agree with that as far as Voren's concerned too. It's like, it's we're in it. Like we're knee deep now, and there's really nothing that can be said. And I think it was also like the quiet before the storm. Everybody's just kind of like, I'm just gonna enjoy this while it
Oh,
lasts.
absolutely. I'm sitting there brainstorming. I'm like, what would he do? Would he do anything? And I was thinking of so many thoughts. It just took so long. I was like, I just don't think he's going to do much here. He's already the past two sessions before, you know, really emphasizing how he feels. He's just like, well, if I do it now, it's just not the right time. Like, let's just dig in and see what we're going to deal with today. I'll focus. But yeah, um, so after that, he went to the room, before bed, he did a prayer. So, he was thinking, he was like, well, how can I get some information on this demigod that we're about to fight, like, how strong it is? He doesn't like to take anybody's word for anything, right? He wants to know for himself. So, he was like, well, if they should be able to, the logic in his head, they should be able to hear my prayer, and if they're strong, like, they should be able to respond to me, and maybe if I, get to talking with him, I might get to know a little bit more info, squeeze something out of him. And so that was his thoughts. And so when he didn't hear anything back, he put like one last mocking gesture just to kind of see if it would appeal to his ego and force him to speak. But it didn't. So he still don't understand why. Now he knows that, well, he heard him, but
Hmm.
he doesn't know why he didn't respond, or if he even wanted to indulge with that.
Yeah, I just think he didn't want to give in to it. But it was interesting. I knew exactly where you were going for. It was like he's
Yeah.
rage baiting him, and we'll see. But yeah, he didn't give you the satisfaction.
No, no, he sure didn't. But yeah, it was kind of like a little testing the waters, at least from Victor's perspective, testing the waters to see how powerful this being could be, and that could potentially, if things would have been different, like, I don't know, may have changed his strategy
Hmm.
or allowed him to give more warnings to the group,
It was a
things
good
of that
idea
nature.
though, when you think about it,
Mhm.
because you got a better feel for, like, this person could have just appeared in front of you when you prayed. This
Uh-huh.
person could have really shown their hand as soon as you prayed, because praying to them gives them power, right? Like, does it give them power over you? And I think the fact that it went quiet, I don't, and maybe brought you a sense of calm.
That and potentially, like, I guess he could hear the prayer, but he knew, like, Victor wasn't, like, a true believer in his power, right?
Right.
So, why would he even indulge it? But it could have been a potential, "I'm gonna appear and smite you" moment, right? So,
It could have been
uh,
bad.
could have backfired badly, and it could still backfire badly because the group don't really understand what he was trying to do. And
Mm.
with anything Victor, most people are going to assume the worst from him, it seems.
Yeah,
Except for
yeah.
maybe Vorin. I think he kinda sees Victor in a different light now, like, at least a little bit, but I think the rest of the party, like, automatically assumes Victor's up to no good. At least that's kind of the gist that Victor feels like.
Yeah, I think, um I've said this before, but I think, like, Vorin is so neutral that sometimes it takes playing devil's advocate to get more information, you know? And so by just like, let's say, for example, there's something that the group is disagreeing with or something like that. If Vorin just says, all right, and then just kind of leaves Victor on by himself, then we can't get more information out of that. Like, that ends there, you know? So he takes advantage of the opportunity that questions are being asked, and he adds fuel to the fire.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the one thing, I think Victor has noticed a lot about, some of the group is, they're willing to just kinda go along, not ask the tough questions sometimes, or just be, like, real stubborn and say, "No, we're not doing this, blah, blah, blah." And I think Victor, he's going about it the wrong way, like, the complete wrong way, and I think he realizes that now, and so, I don't know, he's very stubborn, so he's gonna do the things, that he wants to do, even at the expense of whatever,
The peace.
um, the peace, yeah, he's gonna do it if he thinks it's gonna benefit the group.
But you know what? I love that, um, about that, in character and out of character, is that I can gauge the reaction and try to mediate, right? Like, as Vorin, I can see both extremes or both arguments, and maybe I could fit somewhere in the middle. So it's like they don't like Victor's extremist opinion. So maybe I could just tone it down a little bit and
Yeah.
then give my opinion.
Well, it's been like an interesting and great dynamic. At least having someone else on the other side of the coin,
Yeah.
um, kind of give a little more pushback.
And I thought our
Because
little
if it was,
plot at the ship
yeah,
later on was gonna work, but it didn't. But we tried. Any,
yeah,
anyway, um.
yeah.
So yeah. So, but I did like that he at least attempted to get a reaction. Um. Nothing came of it, and I mean, off to war we went. But you actually prayed to your goddess though first.
Oh, yes, yes. And then he did that afterwards. And he may have snitched a little bit. That was for his own, um, kind of trying to reinforce his loyalty to his goddess. Just because he didn't fully trust the captain. I mean, I think that's might have changed a little bit now because he's always had a suspicion of something iffy about the captain.
Mm-hmm.
And the thought of a potential god killing item, I think that's something that your goddess would want to know about, right?
Yeah, well, even like
Mhm.
Vorin even said it to her. Like she's she's like, the gods don't tend to like me or whatever. And I'm like, do you think it has something to do with your gods killing sword? um,
Yeah.
because it's like, yeah, the same thing came across my head.
Yeah. So he snitched with that little tidbit of information. Tried to get out a little bit more about the demigod. Didn't really get too much. So it was just like, I'll take what I can get. And I'll stir the pot with the gods a little bit,
Hmm.
saying, hey, you know, this is happening. Remember, I got your back, kind of thing, right?
So you know what I really liked about that, and Light can chime in. Just tell me if I'm wrong or whatever. But like the fact that you didn't get a lot from your goddess, like above the table, I was like, that's possibly a good thing. Um, like if other gods aren't concerned, or they almost like don't even recognize this person. I mean, they did, but like they're not completely bothered by this person. Then maybe we'll be okay. You know?
Mhm. I mean, the one thing with gods, gods can do whatever they want. They're gods, after all. And they can't quite give you all the information because that could sway certain things back and forth. It's like they can give you
Mm,
tidbits and ideas and maybe be inspired. You take it how you want to. Um, because if a god, you know, even gods have their own balance in their own ways, but if certain scales, tip, they could be, well, they can have war in their hands with the other
mhm.
gods.
Yeah, it takes me
So
back to
yeah.
like the Conan season that we did, that we were holding each other accountable for that, like as gods. And I'm sure as gods, because one can easily affect the other, they do hold each other
Mhm.
accountable, and it can go wrong very quickly.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was actually wondering about that. Like, I know in some D&D things, like they have like a god above the gods that keeps all the other gods in check. And I was kind of
Mhm.
wondering, like, on that same question, I don't, without you giving too much away, is there something like that, or is it they
Yes.
just kind of? Oh, okay.
Like a Zeus.
So kind of like in D&D,
Kinda.
like one of the D&Ds, I think it's like
Mm.
AO or something like that. And it's like
Uh,
if you
uh,
cross too many boundaries and do too
mhm.
much stuff on the plane, that's gonna, you can't do that.
Uh, uh, the pantheons of different gods, it's D&D gods is definitely unique. They definitely have stuff. It's like, I think, Io, he is basically the god of dragons, and he/she, which is inspired by what god I have here, is that his son and daughter is Bahamut and Tiamat, and he has other children out there too. But he also got destroyed. So those two rise into power. You got the good dragons, the evil dragons. And that's how, like, with all their pantheon, it's like, almost, if you think about it, each god is like an enemy or a friend or frenemy. And if you ever look into it, and you almost see like a cross of spider webs, I swear. It's like, it just blows your mind. But I try to make mine simple, but there's still stuff going on.
Oh yeah, more in the cosmic balance, I'm sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I was telling Light how Vorin now has like dipped his toes into, now he needs more knowledge on the gods because he feels like they're kind of interfering a lot more than they've ever been with his life, and he doesn't know enough about them. So now it's like, it's Valentina. Who the fuck is this?
Mhm.
So it's going to be interesting just to follow that path. But yeah, was that it, Sin?
Yeah, I think that was it right before the battle.
Mhm.
All right, Light. So from then on, the things
Yeah.
started.
Everybody went everybody went to sleep and woke up, and you saw the pirate ships on both sides, basically. The one dancer was in the middle, and um, get ready to basically try to blast each other, which, um, you know, the boy who was the only survivor is basically now in charge of the cannons and asking whoever uses magic come join him. And you had 4 of you, so you had Victor and Minerva, Euphemia and Celeste, and each of them chose basically a cantrip, because it's freebie, but to empower the cannonballs. I kind of wonder how you guys thought on that.
That was super fun. Even though I missed every single shot.
Yeah, it could have gotten longer, but I just thought it'd be kind of cool to have a twist on something like that. And
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, just a player perspective, I thought those type of mechanics, they're real fun to
mhm.
do. Like anything to do with like moving the ship as a group or firing cannons or any of that stuff, I think is real fun.
Yeah, and yeah, you guys were in charge, and then people on top deck had to basically duck and move. Which all of your dexterity saving throws were actually pretty good. But after that, it was on to the fight where the captain basically said, "Do not board," and they boarded, and you all fought.
Bro, my dexterity checks were on fucking point.
Yeah.
Could
They were.
not hit me until like these motherfuckers start swinging their swords at me. Then everybody's hitting me. Like,
Oh, it was. I thought at the first, like as soon as it started happening, I was like, "Oh shit, this is gonna be a tough fight." And it was. It was a tough fight.
Mhm.
How close did you come to death? Because you got hit a few times, didn't you, Warren?
I went down to 12 HP, I think, at one point.
Like 1 or 2 hits.
Yeah, 1 or 2
And
hits.
then what? I'll give you guys a little taste, even though you guys were level 4. uh, these pirates, and this is a little over the table, these pirates weren't the strong ones, because technically they have 2 swings.
Yeah, of course, yeah. You had to
Mhm.
learn a little bit. I mean, level
Oh,
4.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
because
not
we're
just
still
that, but
babies.
there were what, 3 times as many as us. So
I think I counted last time was like 15, and I think I was like, oh, I had a few more.
yeah,
And,
so
and we had like very bad initiatives too.
Yeah. That's the one thing about it. I always
I don't know
always
about this
struggle
Wii
with
shit, but yeah.
I always struggle on making like multiple enemies is because it is like the turnover, and sometimes you can get bored.
Mhm.
And it's like one of those things. It's like people are like, be right back, and then I was like, no, come back here, turn's right here. you
Mhm.
know
Especially with such a large group. Yeah, it
yes,
can get
and yeah, and there's times and I might do it, I might not, and I've done it before where all the enemies are on one initiative, but they all are going at the same time. Versus like every single one and stuff. And sometimes that's better and sometimes that's worse. But that depending on your guys' reaction, which is kind of funny, Warren, who didn't react. You could have reacted
reacted to
when
what?
you got hit.
No, I got uncanny dodge at level 5.
No. You had a thing that you almost killed Victor with.
Oh, yeah, but isn't that for ranged attacks? Nobody attacked me range.
No.
No, it's if you get hit at all.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, that's a misunderstanding on my part. I thought it was for ranged attacks.
Nope.
But
It's for both.
you only get one reaction
One per yeah.
round. Yeah.
Well, yes, but they for tieflings they get one free one, and that's it.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, I think that's like every long rest, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. How come you didn't do that? Because I was actually waiting for that.
Yeah, I definitely thought about it, but I thought I was like, as soon as one of these motherfuckers tries to shoot me, they're dead. So I was
Well, now
just
you know.
yeah. But the swinging on the ropes was working for me, baby. I was just knocking motherfuckers off the ship.
Yes, and the one thing is I was rolling behind the scenes and they all got poor because their swimming abilities. They were trying to swim, but it was storming, so they got sucked into the water.
I like how you did that actually. Like instead of automatically being taken out, it's like, can they get back up?
Mm-hmm.
I just like, for me, something that I actually learned playing Baldur's Gate with you was using my environment. That because my previous campaigns and games that I played in, I never really thought about it that way. I never thought about how I can use the things around me for my advantage. And so that's kind of one thing that I'm trying to use more in this campaign, and it's been really fun, like climbing up this, running across that. And but I know that it can bite me in the ass as well. I can easily fail an acrobatic check or athletics or whatever. But it's more fun,
Yeah, I mean the one thing that's why like when I announced ignore these cannons, they're not here, you can step on them. But if you see something on there, like if there was a barrel or if there was, even let's say like a lantern or something, free feel free to use it. I totally also forgot because I'm trying to work everything out. The cat was still there.
Yeah.
But the cat was on a barrel in a bubble
watching.
sleeping.
Sleeping
just like
the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
That cat gives no fucks.
But the one thing, here's over the table. I was rolling dice to see if it would wake up.
Oh, nice,
And
nice.
It kept sleeping, and there would have been something if it woke up, because you don't wake up a cat. Because they might
I
get
like
pissed
that.
off.
I like
Wasn't
that.
that the cat that fought Cthulhu?
Kinda, yeah. It's the same cat.
Confronted him, yeah.
I feel like the cat was like, they got this.
Yeah, they got this. I'm just gonna sleep.
Yeah.
I'm surprised though that nobody else went for like environmental advantages. Like I thought Magpie was gonna push that guy off, the top.
Mhm.
And
She could have. Yeah.
especially when
But
I think he was like
somebody
blinded at
did.
some point,
That
or not exactly blinded, but
no, like okay, so Magpie, for people out there, she's a rogue and she went into hiding in a crow's nest. One of the people were climbing because he saw her up there. So of course, what he's going to do is going to climb up there. By the time he got up there, he could not see her for some odd reason, and she did it twice. And I could say this over the table, and I've said it during the game. Trust the ship.
mhm. Yeah,
Ship.
honestly, I figured the ship was like helping us out the whole time. That's why I was like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna go for this swing around rope. If I fall, then thank you, ship. Like,
Yeah, it's the ship was helping out. It depends on like what you guys were going to do or wanting to do. You know, you got an edge on like if you were to fail, the ship would have probably helped you.
yeah, like I would
So,
have missed the
yeah,
ship
so
and like
this
fallen over. The ship caught me.
so I mean there's like several things. And that's I guess I don't know. Depends what people want to do.
Yeah, just something to
Glenn,
keep in mind for everyone.
Glenn, he pushed somebody off because
He
he's like,
did.
hell no, get out of my, get out of my
Yeah,
space.
Victor snack. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tenderized him for Victor.
Oh, as soon as I seen him fall, I'm like, that's where I'm going.
Oh my god, it's so funny. But like I said in Baldur's Gate, I was constantly Light would laugh at me because I was always trying to kick somebody off something, and if I
Yeah.
couldn't kick, like I would still kick them just for the hell of it. Like, and I end my turn with kicking somebody.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I brought that in, and I'm glad I did.
hmm
Yeah, my one thought, I was gonna try and use the environment. I had an idea when I asked about the guy that was on the mast that was climbing up
Mm.
towards Glenn. He
Mhm.
was like, because I can climb straight up without any penalty because of vampiric
Yep.
spider climb, right? So I was gonna go all the way up, hop on his back, and try to bite him in the neck and see if he'd fall, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
he was just a little too high. He was like 80 foot up, so it was a bit too
Yeah.
high. Or no, he was 60 foot, so it was just a little too high to do all
Mhm.
that one turn. I was like, what am I gonna do? And then I just went back into pretty much defensive mode of trying to get all these people. I was really worried about Vorin for a minute. Vorin and Euphemia. As soon as I
Yeah.
Yeah,
seen he took
Lauren
like
was
a big chunk.
surrounded.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit. And Nyx with the natural one, a fucking initiative, it kind of almost backfired a little bit because he's hiding in the crack, waiting for all these people to hop on, and then they have like such good initiatives, they just like ran right past him.
Yeah,
Like shit.
Mhm.
Uh,
that was unfortunate.
mhm.
I told Light
That's
that I was
dice,
waiting,
baby.
like towards the end of the battle, I was waiting to swing from the back of the ship to the front, towards where the demigod was. Um, but
You trying to do some pirate shit.
yeah, I was trying to live my best pirate life. Um, but then then shit happened. So we could just get there.
Mhm.
Uh, the fight the fight went pretty smoothly overall. I got heals. I was feeling better, and then some shit happened. Light
Mhm.
enlighten us.
Haha. So, as they started defeating and healing allies, I would say Keys was almost done. But he got healed. Meg, she was getting hurt. And then the captain, well, she died.
She was
um,
getting fucked up.
yeah, the demigod stabbed her. He with all 3 hits. 2 of them were actually natural 20s.
Oof.
Yes, and that Yeah, those numbers were high. And the last thing that she did was drop some dice, and he tossed her in the water. And then from his ship, more pirates came and basically tied you all together and, had a conversation with him a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's where he kind of talked to Victor, saying, "Oh, the one that prayed to me." So
Yeah, he threw you under the fucking bus, buddy.
Oh, that's perfectly fine. Victor is going to use that to his advantage to try to get untied from the fucking pole, right?
I thought that our attempt to deceive him was gonna work, but he was
I
onto
rolled like
us.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I kind of wish it would have worked a little bit. Like, Victor, so disappointed. I mean, but also he just so disappointed in like the majority of the group, thinking that he's instantly switching sides. But for thinking that down of him, right? So he's going to remember that. But two,
Victor will
he's not
remember
a
this.
martyr that's just going to sit there, kill me for my whatever. Victor's a survivor, baby.
Oh yeah. No.
Victor is going to do what he's going to do to get out of
Exact
that
same thing
situation.
with Vorin. No fucking
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. He's not going to be a martyr for the cause. He's going to, try to get out of it if he can, even if it means, playing, nice with this guy for the moment.
We'll call it. But see, Nyx has a certain sense of morality that we don't.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes sense for Nyx what he said, and it makes sense for Magpie as well. But even when I was like trying to get in Vorin's shoes by playing Baldur's Gate, Light knows how I was playing him was I can talk my way out of this at every single turn. It was like, wait, I can talk my way out of this. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, but that is who my character is, and I wasn't just gonna be like, all right, well, you can kill me now. Fuck that.
Mhm.
Yeah, screw that. Victor's like, just let me get out of these ropes. Because one, he had seen the dice, at least the one. He didn't know what importance it was because the guy was looking for it. So if he would have let him out, Victor might have tried to make a play to grab the dice or something.
That was
Mhm.
interesting.
And he still had a spell up his sleeve. Like Victor could have Misty stepped. Victor could have turned someone invisible, which he was thinking about turning like Nyx or someone invisible if they got close. So he was trying to play that game, like even though he's horrible at the deception. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm still gonna try it.
Speaking
Yeah.
of deception, I have another over the over the table question.
Mm.
The ship being doled out and almost looking like as if it was dying. That
Mhm.
was the ship being deceptive, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like it's so good.
Mhm.
Oh, I have
That
questions about
that's what
that.
she kept saying, "Trust the ship." And
So
yeah.
okay, so it was being deceptive. So when the captain died, so here's my theory. Sorry, going back to it a little bit. I kind of feel like she was reborn as the goddess. I feel like she did die, and then all of a sudden she was reborn as the goddess with the Kraken.
I
I'm not sure the
think so
significance of the dice
too,
though.
though.
Mhm.
Because I mean, I guess we'll find out at some point, right? But I think that is actually what happened because part of her death was her sacrifice, was
Mhm.
her like final stand for what she believed in. So like that all had to come into like, perspective at some point.
Yeah, because if she was already the goddess, she'd just smack the demigod like she did with the Kraken early on,
Mhm.
right? I feel like she had to. This forced her to become that, right? least that's how I feel. Her death.
Maybe.
I knew it. I was waiting for the maybe.
Look, there's a lot other stuff that happened too.
Yeah, no.
The undead monkey came back.
Mhm.
Undead Monkey.
Yeah.
Did we ever name Undead Monkey?
Nope.
Shitters.
Undead monkey was helping.
He was. Or she was. I don't remember what monkey it is. Like, was it a
That's she.
little yeah, I
It
thought it
was a
was like
little. It's like
I remember
yeah.
the voice. It was like a little she monkey that I killed that
Yeah.
had a
Mhm.
family. Oh my god, it was so
Oh my
bad.
god.
She had a family. Somehow end up on the ship and trying to rescue you guys. But
That had to be
eventually
the Voodoo
next,
Queen.
he shrunk. Who knows? Oh, questions. Write down these questions. Maybe be answered.
Can I keep him?
We'll see what happens. But even during that the other ships actually came into play,
Right.
especially showing what they can do. With the hummingbirds turning themselves into whales in midair. And then you got the different cannons, and then of course the Kraken that was taking some of the ships down too.
Yeah, and the bats.
Uh-huh.
All the bats. Mhm.
The bats. So
That's
yeah.
cool. Yeah, Victor had some envy during that. If you saw it, he's like, "Damn, I wish I had a bat for him."
Yeah, it's like a cluster of bats taking these ships across. So they were flying.
I thought that was really cool for like a theater of the mind type of thing.
Mhm.
For the scene, it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mind was going crazy with everything that was happening. I was like, "Oh god." It's like it's like one of the crazy action films. I'm like, "Yes, this is better."
Mhm.
At least there was no Sharknado. Oh my god.
Oh,
Oh,
I
Jesus.
told them, I said, if I ever put a Sharknado, it's because I ran out of ideas. So,
Yeah. So
but
yeah. So
yeah,
Sin alluded to it that she came back on the with the Kraken and uh turned everything around. The fight wasn't lost.
no, yep. She came back and she looked healed. Her eyes were basically glowing, and she had I guess like a splint of the sword that she had, and stabbed him with it, and he felt the pain, and it actually went inside his body. So, and then the ship regained its blueness and basically tossed whatever the rest of the pirates, and including him, across the sea. So if you imagine, Team Rocket, how they were blasting off again, that's how I picture it in my head.
That's awesome. So then, how did we conclude the episode? Like,
how did we? Well, she introduced you guys to the Kraken, whose name is Pearl, and she did say that she raised it. And during that time, 3 figures popped up, and from their viewpoints, sounded like bells, which it's celestial talking, and the only person that understands is Celeste. And I tried to describe like the shock on her face, and basically, the captain was like, "I no, I don't want it. I don't. Fine, I need to get them home. We'll talk about this later." And then Celeste revealed to everybody else, or what she heard was, she is now the goddess of the sea, storms and favor. And yeah.
Yeah, sound the horns for the promotion. She was not happy about it,
No.
and neither was Victor.
No, Victor was Victor.
I think it was
He
more
was neutral
like,
about it.
"What the fuck?"
He was like, I knew she had some
Mhm.
sort of power. Like,
And can I have the
part of him
ship?
was like, well, he's kind of joking about that.
Yeah, I know.
He was just like, okay, well, who inherits the ship now? Kind of thing. Like, you're a god, you can blink around with your with whatever you want to do, right? So he's kind of just pulling her chain. But part of him's like, damn, I wish I would have known this from the start, because now I look like a fucking idiot. Because I'm sitting here like, it's not safe. This is a demigod. How is she going to do anything? Well, she's a goddess. Like, damn, I wish I'd had that tidbit of information.
But she
Mhm.
3
didn't
episodes ago.
know. She didn't know. She even said, "I don't know what I am." Because Victor asked the question, "What are you?" "I don't know.
And how
I don't
powerful
even know
are
what
you?
I am."
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, absolutely. So, like, it's something like he wishes he would have known. I guess he
Yeah.
knows that she didn't know, right?
And I
Mhm.
think, the
Um,
fact that
yeah.
the answers weren't revealed to Victor when he was asking, I think um, that would have been bad that for, like, divine intervention. Like, if she was going to become a goddess of anything, then that's probably not information that anybody would have been privy to.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thought that was really cool. But yeah,
Yeah, it was like a
Captain is the
massive sigh
goddess.
of relief. A big sigh of relief. Like,
Mhm.
okay, we got through this. I'm glad. Like, at least we got a goddess that, we kind of know, you know,
Mhm.
might be
Mhm.
able to help us in the future.
Which now all comes back to what I was saying in the beginning with the Vorin and the captain. It was like she doesn't have a positive outlook on the gods. And she made that very clear to Warren. Um, even though she says some don't listen and some do, her disdain was there. We don't know
Mhm.
why, but it was very clear. And then boy, am I glad that I cleared things up with her.
The apology and everything.
Yeah, apology. It's like, oh, the air has been cleared, and now I am on good terms with a goddess.
I will give you guys this over the table as she went around and basically kind of like touched everybody's shoulders. It's more of like, a captain is reassuring each and every one. But at that time, she didn't know what she was doing, and she blessed all of you. That's where you regain your hit points
Hmm.
back and your health.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, it was almost like a good job
Mhm.
type of pat.
Yeah. So yeah.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
that episode ended because, I mean, the fight led on, the sky cleared, but there is blood in the sea and heading back to Feilu.
back to Felu after months
Mhm.
on sea.
Yeah,
God, who knows what
but
the fuck is waiting for us back home? Well, back home for me because this isn't and Magpie. This isn't anybody else's home.
Correct. But, yeah, it's going to be interesting, and you guys well, don't know how long it will take you guys to get there, but that is the goal, and so you have a little bit to ask those questions if need be or whatever.
Hmm. Yeah, we'll see what kind of confrontation Victor gets into again.
I think he might eventually. He might try to have like a heart to heart conversation, but I don't know. He's getting to the point like he's put down so much. I think eventually he might just stop doing it, right? Just do what he's gonna do anyways, right?
Yeah, like just
But
do it, don't
mhm.
discuss it.
Yeah, like, I think the one thing he wants the party to kinda understand, it's like, "Yeah, we got lucky this time. Yes, we had a goddess that bailed us out of the situation, but if we didn't, we'd all be skewered on this, on this mast that we're tied up to."
Mhm.
And, like, I think I don't know, like, he has this feeling that the only way people are going to take things a little ask questions, take things a little more safer, is if something really bad happens and they don't have a goddess to bail them out, right?
Yeah, I mean, and such is life, right? Sometimes you have to get knocked down really hard to understand that maybe you could be a bit more cautious.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's great. I love it.
Yeah, it's been
Very
fun.
good.
It almost felt like a season finale.
Mhm.
Um, I wish it wasn't such a weird number, like episode 17. Like
Mhm.
for my OCD, I would have wished it was like 15 or 20. But yeah, it felt like a season finale because of like the big fight, the outcome, um, and how we've concluded that and are now going back home. It almost feels like it's like a reset, you know?
Mhm.
Oh, absolutely. It's like, what do we do now? The world is our oyster.
Yeah, but then there's still so many things that we still have yet to figure out, though, you know? So
Absolutely.
it's like, and that's why I say like a season finale instead of like a series finale because like yeah, this concluded and it was nice closure, but when we begin again, there's still so many things to figure out, and that's what we're going into. Um, it's not just going home; it's going home to figure out all this other shit.
That brings me to a
Mhm.
question that I would like to ask, Warren. Um, what are some of the things that Voren wants to do when he gets back to Faelu?
I think I think Voren now understands that the world is bigger than Felu. Um, and that for the longest time, even though he did dream about being on the Wind Dancer and or being on a ship, for the longest time he avoided it by just working at the docks because he was afraid of going beyond what he knew and what he was good at. But I think that all of this was a good experience for him. Like, there's more shit out here, and there's more to learn, and there's more to do. And I think now his ambitions are maybe larger than ever now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Is
What
Voren gonna try to find, like, a flintlock pistol?
oh my god, I want a gun so badly. That conversation is not over. Um, that was like an in character thing that he's like, I need to get me one of those.
Mhm. Yeah, Glenn, it's a rifle, so
Yeah. Well, so we'll see. Maybe when we break into the collective, I can find one and steal it.
Oh, yeah.
we'll see, we'll see.
We'll see.
They're it's for you guys is the first time to ever see one and hear one.
Right.
And if you all know what gun sounds, it's like an echo. So it's like, oh shit, that's
Mhm.
a loud sound.
Yeah, especially like those musket type of things that you just like stuff gunpowder in. Like
Mhm.
they're not very quiet.
No, and yeah, and Glenn helped you out, and you're like, watch it. It's like it didn't even hit you.
Yeah, but like that missed shot could have been very bad. No, but it was funny. So yeah, so I think that that about does it.
Mhm.
It was it was a wild ride to get here. Really fun fight, And now we'll see what happens in episode 18 when we start our journey back home.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, you guys, I would say you're right. It's like the next chapter now.
Mm-hmm.
So
So thank you guys for
let's
hanging
see.
out. Thank you, Sin, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
And we will see you all next week. Remember, our sessions are live at 6:30 EST on Sundays, and then we do our recaps at 6:30 EST on Monday. But that time can fluctuate depending on what we need. But yeah, if you guys want to catch up, there's a whole playlist in the description below, and you could watch the full sessions or you could watch the recap episodes. And that's pretty much it.
Sounds good.
Have a good one.
Adios.